Hi, my name is Erin. I'm a licensed therapist, and I love analyzing all things pop culture. Welcome back to my living room. I am happy to be here again, excited to be filming, and feeling excited about what we're going to be talking about today, which is Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Who would I be as a therapist who claims to love pop culture and analyzing it if I did not have a commentary on Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively? But I promise you, it's not what you think. Right now on the internet, there's a million TikTok, YouTube videos, podcasts summarizing and analyzing the entire thing. And there's a ton of good ones that you can go watch to summarize all of the events. I'm not going to do that because they already exist in tenfold. Instead, I want to offer a unique and psychological twist. Why did we even trust Blake in the first place? The internet just immediately trusted Blake, like no hesitation. But why was this? Why did we even do this? My personal opinion, and not as a therapist, is that Blake is so in the wrong, it's not even funny. It's actually really twisted what she has accused Justin Baldoni of and how many people she has manipulated throughout this entire process. If it weren't for Justin Baldoni having all his receipts, we wouldn't be standing here, or I guess sitting here today, wondering why the hell we even believed Blake in the first place. But I'm going to give you 5 psychological reasons why we trusted Blake when we shouldn't have. Before I jump into it, I want to introduce my 2 cute little lovable cats. Their names are Sage and Sorrel, and they always find their way onto my lap mid-video. I don't think there's only one video they haven't made an appearance in yet. Every other video, they seem to come out of nowhere. So if you see them, that's who they are. They're lovable and adorable, and they are the loves of my life. All right, let's get into it. 5 psychological reasons we trusted Blake when we really should not have. All right, first up, we have what's called the halo effect. The halo effect essentially pushes people to believe that if one person has one individual good characteristic, then they holistically must be good. So one good quality equates to all good qualities. So Blake Lively, she's obviously stunning, she's super charming, and then boom, we believe, well, she must be honest, kind, and incapable of lying. Ironically, the halo effect is also known as the physical attractiveness stereotype. Per my last point, if somebody is physically attractive, we automatically assume that they are funnier and more intelligent than they might actually be. It's kind of like when you see a golden retriever and you're like, there's no way that golden retriever has done anything wrong ever in its life, but you know that earlier that morning your golden retriever just ate like 4 of your socks. This is why celebrities that have a really likable presence can get away with so much before we actually start questioning them. If you're attractive and you seem wholesome, then your negative traits basically get overshadowed. And it's kind of like when Zac Efron did that weird Ted Bundy movie and no one batted an eye, and it was like, oh, it's just because it's Zac Efron and he's so good looking. Weird movie. So when Blake Lively was involved with the drama, we were like, no way, absolutely not. Look at her cheekbones, look at her hair, case closed, she could never do anything wrong. It's just a bias that we hold. That brings me to my next bias, familiarity bias, which is very hard for me to say, so hang in there with me. Basically, people trust things that are familiar. That's why we don't like to do things that make us uncomfortable. That's why it's hard to try new foods. And Blake Lively has been ever present in our lives since the mid-2000s. She's been on our screen, she's been in magazines, she's been all over our Pinterest boards. Definitely on mine. I was obsessed with her in high school. I don't know why, because look at some of these fashion looks she had in Gossip Girl. We feel like we know her, even though she has literally no clue that 17-year-old Erin was pinning all of her outfits on her Pinterest board. She has no clue I existed. This is why parasocial relationships are so strong, which if you don't know what that is, it's just basically a one-sided relationship between one person and a fictional character or a media entity, like Blake Lively. A great example is Beatlemania. Women were obsessed with the Beatles. It was very parasocial because obviously the Beatles didn't know like half the women that were as obsessed with them as they were. Like if Blake Lively walked up to me and was like, will you watch my purse? I'd be like, oh my God, absolutely. Because she feels familiar to me. I feel like I know her. And also what a great story I get to tell my friends. I watched Blake Lively's purse. But if an old man, or just a man in general, is like, hey, you want to watch my man bag next to the bathroom? I'd be like, no. And since she's never really been involved in any major scandals before, our brains have 0 reference points for her being untrustworthy. So when something untrustworthy happens, we tend to just believe the best, because that's what familiarity bias does. It allows us to feel more comfortable believing the person that we know instead of actually forcing us to question. All right, number 3. This one's really interesting to me. It's called moral licensing. This is when an individual has a history of good behavior, so we subconsciously excuse anything that might be considered bad behavior or morally wrong. Moral licensing just says that people give themselves or other people the permission to act immorally because they've been moral in the past. We do this all the time. It's just justification. It's like when you have a super productive work day or you did a really hard task, and so you equate that with being able to watch 8 hours of Netflix, binging a TV show in the name of self-care. Blake Lively has been in Hollywood for 2 whole decades. That's 20 years without a scandal. A clean reputation, no public meltdowns, besides maybe that one interview that's going around with her being pretty sassy and rude about her baby bump.
Oh, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
But besides that, I mean, really nothing notable. So our brains automatically go, well, she's been great for years, so she must still be great now. I'm just going to apologize in advance for the lighting in this video. The sun is going in and out of cloud coverage, so I am having a hard time keeping my lighting consistent. But I guess that interruption is a welcome interruption for what I'm drinking today. Not that anyone really cares, but it's tradition for me to talk about what I'm drinking today. Don't care that it just snowed out last night. I am still going to drink an iced drink. I am drinking an iced Irish cream flavored latte, which is hands down my favorite type of flavored latte. It looks like I bought it, but in actuality, I just save a plastic cup and make it at home so that I feel like I'm fancy and spending money, but I can't in this economy. So, cheers. Sorrel has joined us like I said she would. Okay, so back to moral licensing. Really, I just had one more point with it, which is an example of moral licensing in real life is I really think about the Ellen DeGeneres situation, where people were believing her for so freaking long, even though she had multiple reports come out of her mistreatment of her employees, that she was actually really mean. She made interviewers feel uncomfortable.
And how was the party? I wasn't invited.
Actually, no, that's not the truth, Ellen. You were invited.
So even though we had all this data that was like, hey, Ellen DeGeneres actually might not be that great of a person, we're like, well, she does 12 days of giveaways, so could she really be that bad? Which, on a side note, when I lived in LA, I went to an Ellen DeGeneres show. I won tickets, and me and my now husband were like, oh my God, what are we gonna win? This is awesome. Can't believe we get to go to this. I walked away with a Shania Twain CD. I didn't even have a way to play CDs. Like, my car had a cassette tape in it. Like, it was a disappointment of a lifetime. I digress. 4. Welcome, Sage. 4. Primacy effect. The primacy effect is basically your brain saying first impressions matter way more than they actually do.
When I first met Pam, she said something that slightly rubbed me the wrong way. Since then, I've loved working with Pam, and she's frankly wonderful. But I hate her.
The way a story is first presented is often the way it's most remembered. That's why there's so much power in being the first person to tell your narrative. So if Blake Lively is first framed as the victim in all of the narratives, then people are going to remember that and cling to that, even if there's later nuanced evidence that shows otherwise. That's why news cycles are so powerful. Once a public narrative has been established, it's really hard to undo. Luckily enough for Justin Baldoni, he had receipt upon receipt upon receipt, or else I think that we'd still be sitting here believing Blake Lively. But this all points to why celebrities scramble to have the first narrative be their own. In the early stages of public drama, whoever gets the story out first often wins public sympathy. If a situation is really complex, such as this drama that has unfolded, but the first headline that goes out says Blake Lively betrayed by Justin Baldoni in Hollywood, our brains are going to be like, yep, that tracks, that makes sense, got it. So part of the reason that we believed Blake Lively is because she got to tell her story first, which was also a manipulative move by her, and she knew what she was doing 100%. Okay, last but not least, number 5, we've got America's sweetheart archetype. This is a specific category for women who garner extra protection from the public because they fit this very relatable, wholesome girl next door vibe. Think very Jennifer Aniston, Sandra Bullock, Jennifer Garner. She's amazing and I love her and I'm obsessed with her and she can literally do no wrong. She is America's sweetheart. I am utterly convinced. Unfortunately, Blake Lively also falls under this category. These women are seen as classy but fun and stylish but down to earth and famous but super relatable, which is a huge platform that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have built for themselves. Is like this self-deprecating, we're so relatable, we're so human even though we're so famous type of vibe, which has always been annoying to me. Like, they have not been my favorite couple. My favorite couple is Josh Allen and Haley Steinfeld. Forever and always. I love them. They're amazing. But the thing is, once you get into this archetype or this stereotype, you get the benefit of the doubt way more than other celebrities do. But if you think about somebody as famous as like Gwyneth Paltrow or Megan Fox, people would be like, burn it all down. Doesn't matter. They're crazy. They're way too famous. They're super unrelatable. So they would have, I think, a different opinion about all of this. America's sweetheart archetype really emphasizes Blake's relatability, making her seem more innocent than she actually is, making her seem more trustworthy than she actually is. And we don't want her to be in the wrong. People love feeling like they could be like Blake Lively, or Blake Lively really is just a woman of the people. Like, it's really hard for our brains to comprehend that she's actually not. There you have it. The halo effect, the familiarity bias, moral licensing, the primacy effect, and America's sweetheart stereotype. I really think these do a good job at explaining why we trusted Blake Lively first and why we should not have. So next time you see a celebrity scandal, ask yourself, am I basing my opinion formed on facts, or is it just because they're beautiful and they starred in my favorite movie? Is Blake Lively in the wrong in all of this? I don't know, probably, but I'm just here for the psychology of it all. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I truly do love reading comments. I know they obviously boost videos, but I have so much fun hearing other people's opinions and interacting with them. So please leave a comment if you enjoyed this video or you got something from it, or just to share your opinion about the whole thing. Love to hear it. I appreciate any support, whether it's a comment, a like, a subscribe, anything really is a big help, and I am really excited to continue growing my channel. So stay tuned. Look at my channel for more pop culture analysis content. I'm sure if you enjoyed this, you'll enjoy my other videos, and I'm excited to make some more. So I will see you all soon.